Hey folks, welcome to the MCU'S Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. I am, of course, co-host Jeff S, aka TrueKnowledge. As always, rocking it over here with the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. We're here on a Saturday evening, which is a pretty rare thing for us, but we do a Saturday show here and there. I don't like to overlap with other creators that do Saturday shows that I know for the most part, but we're doing a couple of MCU special shows that are just kind of like for the fun, for us to do for fun. This is, of course, August 31st, 2024, and I want to welcome to commemorate their 3 years with us in collaboration, Kevin and Kyle from the FPN Podcast Network, where they used to do what was called True Believers, a Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. Kevin, it's good to have you back on the Bleeding Edge. Kyle, I talked to you in the studio, obviously. Good to have you back, brother. Any thoughts, guys?
You go ahead, Kevin.
I was just going to say, thanks for welcoming us back. Yeah, Fandom Podcast Network. We're still doing the True Believers podcast. We resurrected it, of course, when Deadpool and Wolverine came out. And we've got a lot of other great podcasts underneath the Fandom Podcast Network umbrella. Kyle.
Yeah, I just came here to draft Avengers and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
just to look pretty, right? Well, good for you. I'm glad you brought the podcast back. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that. And it's always good to see people resurrect their older podcasts and whatnot. I think that you guys should stick with it and keep the show alive so I can come back on.
Agatha is right around the corner. We'll be definitely covering that on True Believers.
All right, most definitely. And then, of course, we've got Aston coming on here. Aston has basically become like a regular guest here on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. It's good to see you again, Aston.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's always a blast to be joining such greats online.
Amato is from the Royal Geek Podcast, and he's making his third appearance on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, I believe. Right, Amato?
I think it might only be my second, but
okay.
But I mean, I had a lot of fun the first time we did it. Was on the Shogun. We did the Shogun like first half review, and it was a lot of fun. Getting in there and really breaking down a lot of that show, because that show was so much.
Oh, that was Aston's first show. So yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah. I remember on there and talking about. I think I had a Tesla shirt on. So it was pretty cool.
We went for almost 3 hours that night. That was a good show. Long.
Tesla, as in the band.
As in the person.
Oh, okay.
Well, Rathacon is here somewhere. He's got his straight audio thing. Who the hell knows what he's doing back there? He's a young guy, so God knows. But Rath's here to back me up as we're busting off essentially our top picks for what would be the next Core 6 Avengers squad in the MCU. So the rules are very simple. We're going to go round by round on the picks. Rathacon is going to back me up. I'm going to moderate and also participate. So we're just going to go round by round, and we'll start right off with round one, and we're going to go person to person to make our picks. Everyone gets a chance to talk about their picks. At the end of each round, we'll actually fully discuss them and leave the floor open the floor to any kind of comments on these picks and these characters, either positive or negative, I guess, as to whether or not people think that they should be a part of the team. And then on top of that, we'll have 2 reserve picks that will be like substitutional picks that you could throw in there to be still on that original 6 Avengers.
In case someone gets blipped, right?
Yeah, in case something, you never know, something could happen.
Yeah, someone might have a dinner date,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it makes it more fun if you get the pick. It gives you 2 more picks.
Or they might be hooking up, who knows?
Yeah.
Or for all we know, Robert Downey Jr. is going to play every Avenger. I mean, that's
who knows?
A possibility. He's
very multifaceted.
It's always fun to imagine to pick your Avengers team and to have it be 2 more picks than whatever the set number is. That's my take on it. But so we'll start right off with round one. And since you guys are the honored guest of the evening, I'll go with you first, Kevin, and then I'll go to you, Kyle. Give us your number. I guess what would be your number 1 pick, but your first pick for your original 6 Avengers team in the current version of the MCU.
Kyle, go ahead.
Well, obviously, I think the number 1 pick is pretty obvious here. We know he's going to be reforming the Avengers probably in his most recent upcoming film, and it's Sam Wilson, Captain America. You can't have the Avengers without Captain America. It just doesn't work that well. It never has throughout history. And in the MCU, you've got to have Captain America leading the Avengers or being on the main part of the Avengers. So yeah, Sam Wilson, Captain America, number 1 pick.
I'm going to go with Rogers as my pick, just because he's a good leader. He's very tactical as well, but also I want to make sure that I get him laid as well.
So you're talking about like the alternate universe version?
Yeah, because Kevin, these will be people who'll be on the Avengers in the upcoming films.
Sure.
Not necessarily. You can go fan pick on it too if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So you want Steve Rogers, Captain America, on the next original 6 Avengers team,
Yes.
like to be resurrected back. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll have to see if anybody else actually makes that pick other than you. All right. So Amato, you go next.
All right.
Wrath, we already have one. We already have a vote written up for Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Steve Rogers, Captain America, to be on the original 6.
Both for Kevin?
No, one from Kevin.
I'm Sam Wilson, Kevin's Steve Rogers.
Sam Wilson. Okay.
Yeah, Kyle gets Sam, and then I get Steve.
Amato, go ahead.
All right, so I'm actually going to go with a character who is probably seen out of the team that I built is probably like has seen the least amount of screen time. I'm going to go with Shang-Chi. I feel like he was such like he was a great character, and I think he has a really good chance to be like. He seems to have like a nice little gravitas to him. He could be a decent leader, I think, at some point on a full-fledged team, and he just seems to have like a humbleness and like. He just has super cool powers, you know, an underrated movie of post Endgame content.
Good pick.
Yeah, and we'll open the floor up for that too, obviously at the end of the round. But Aston, go ahead and I'll go after you.
Okay, my first pick is going to have to be the Hulk, but Ed Norton's Hulk, because it is in the MCU. Thank you.
Nice.
That's very brave, sir. Edward Norton Hulk. I like Edward Norton Hulk too.
Edward Norton, he's the one that runs funny. Have you ever noticed that?
He's the one. He's the one that gets that does that like really intense. Like, you don't want me to get mad, but he starts to get mad. He like hyperventilates. Yeah. Like he's like constantly vigilant of it. You know.
It almost seems like celebrities in general just have like this they have this ability to not look like they know how to run. Like all celebrities,
with the exception of Tom Cruise, he knows how to do it.
I mean, he's running away from something.
It's in his contract.
Scientologists.
Yeah. It's the only way he can feel free from them.
I'm going to go with Sam Wilson, Captain America, because Sam Wilson, Captain America is going to be on the original 6 Avengers team, and I want at least 2 or 3 of my picks to be somebody that's going to be on the actual team itself, just for me. That's what made me feel good and go to sleep well tonight at the end of the night, right? And I think it'll be more fun for the conversation too, to try to have stuff that's going to be actually going to be something we'll see. So I think Sam Wilson is a guaranteed first line top 6 Avenger. That you know, say what you want about MCU phases 4 and 5, right? He's one thing that's been a constant for us in the MCU for a long time. I think that Anthony Mackie should be celebrated for all the time he's put in the MCU. You know, he's had a long time, a lot of history in the MCU, and he did a great job jumping from Falcon to Cap, and I really dig it. And he should lead the team, in my estimation. He should be the leader of the new Avengers. I don't see why he wouldn't be, right? He has all the military training, just like Steve, right? You know, like somebody has to lead the team.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter whether he has the superpowers or not. He should still be the leader. So that's my pick. Sam Wilson, Captain America, and then I'll open the floor right there, and I'll go back to you guys at True Believers. Kevin, Kyle, first thoughts on our first set of picks.
Good stuff there. I like how we have a couple different Steve or caps on there. Aston, love the Ed Norton version. I think that's cool. And Shang-Chi, gotta tell you, Anthony, that's on my short list as well. Love that.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah, I like the Shang-Chi selection for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I expected Shang-Chi to be a popular pick probably across the board tonight. Kyle?
So I'm ready for my second pick here. So I'm dipping back into the original Avengers because there's still one floating out there that's a huge part of the MCU.
If you're going to make your second pick, hold on. Let me go around and see if anybody wants to say anything about the picks we already made. Amato, you got anything? You want to say anything about our picks so far?
I do think it's interesting that kind of people are diving into the well a little bit with the whole with Steve Rogers Captain America version. You're going back to the Edward Norton Hulk. You know, it's kind of, I mean, we don't really think about that, but the multiverse is, you can have anything really. Like, so like any of these dudes can end up showing up for, to be a part of the team for any reason. So it'll be really cool to see, Steve Rogers, show up. I do think it would, an interesting like potential issue there would be like, it might undercut Sam Wilson just a little bit. Like, if they're both there, but I do like the idea of Cap showing back up at some point, as Steve Rogers Cap.
Aston.
I think it's awesome. It got off to what I think is an awesome start. Like, I got to piggyback off Amato, man. He said it best. Like, when I was surprised when someone picked Shang-Chi, but it makes sense. Like, it really makes sense. It's just, I shortlisted the guy, but it makes total sense. So this is awesome. Like, I really think it's going to get more different as we progress. That's my prediction moving forward. Punching out.
It's a good conversational pick. And it's somebody that will probably be in some form or fashion on the next set of the next Avengers teams. So as a constant, I would imagine a fixture. But all right, Kyle, you had your pick ready to go. Go ahead and drop your second round pick.
We're going with an original, because he still has a huge impact in the MCU. Thor will be part of the Avengers.
Nice.
Forward. I think Chris Hemsworth still has a little bit of juice to want to play in the MCU. I know he wants to take Thor in a different direction from the last couple of films anyway. And I think he's also willing to, now that Robert Downey Jr. is back, I think it's going to be a lot easier to get some of these original actors back into the mix, because they all want to work together again. So I think Hemsworth as Thor is going to definitely be part of the Avengers team.
I like that pick, Kyle, because we've seen him with long hair, we've seen him with short hair. Now we just need to see him with a mullet.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Amato, you want to go ahead and make your next selection?
So my next selection is going to be based on like building a team in a way. So I'm going to go with a magic user. I'm going to get Doctor Strange involved. I think, having that set up, you need somebody who can kind of give you some like support in, kind of be drilling people from afar as you got your bruisers like Hulk and, Thor up front.
Yeah, I think that's a very safe and solid pick.
Wait, what was the pick again?
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. Okay.
All right. Kevin?
I'm going to go with Deadpool, because I want to see what would happen if Deadpool got his wish and he got to see Avengers actually shout. And I would just love to see the fourth wall break in between, those two guys. So I'm going to go with Deadpool.
Okay, Aston?
I'm going to have to, I'm not piggybacking off Amato. I got the notes here. I also have Doc Strange in there because, he's one of my faves. He does lead them in the comics as well, but this is strictly MCU talking. I feel he has a lot more to show, and he can do a lot more in the MCU. That's all I'm going to say on that. Definitely Doc Strange.
Doc and Hulk. That'll make a good pair right there.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, I haven't heard anything coming out of Benedict Cumberbatch's, camp or whatever at any point saying that he's not still fully participating in the MCU. So I would anticipate that he'll be on the next Avengers team in Avengers 5. It just makes common sense to me. But I'm going to go off this track just for conversational purposes, because I am going to pick Doctor Strange eventually. But I'm going to go with Yelena Belova, Black Widow. Her Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Sam and Black Widow. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that Yelena pick. I think she would be. I have her on my short list. She didn't make my original list, but she's definitely an awesome choice.
She's going to blow up huge after Thunderbolts. I'm telling you right now.
Well, I wanted to make another pick that would actually be something that would cross over into what will actually be on our next Avengers team, right? And I feel like she's a shoo-in, right, for being a core original 6 Avenger probably for the next team. I can't see Sam Wilson going out and recruiting a team and not picking her to be on that team.
Yeah, with the star power and her already being built into the system, it's a no-brainer to get Florence Pugh to be, a huge part of the MCU.
Aston, do you have any thoughts on this round of selection?
I think it's awesome. Again, I got a few surprises, especially with the other Black Widow. Like, I'm loving it. It's all interesting just to hear everyone's picks. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Kevin?
Yeah, no, totally. We got Black Widow, Yelena, Thor, Doc Strange, 2 Stranges, and those are both strong picks. All those are good. I like that. And what's cool I like the Yelena pick, Jeff, because I don't think we've seen enough of her yet to really, it gets me excited enough to see her in Thunderbolts.
No, I think that she's going to roll right off of Thunderbolts and hopefully land in a spot where she's going to be in a much more like, in demand MCU again. Hopefully,
yeah.
Right? That than the one we've kind of had recently, maybe, right? Coming off Deadpool and Wolverine, we'll see, and off Captain America 4, of course. Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, I personally, Doctor Strange, I think is going to be a huge part of what's coming up. And Yelena, like I said, I think Florence Pugh loves. One, she's admitted she loves being part of the MCU, and 2, I think that is a character who, between Black Widow, and the Hawkeye series, and what we're about to, she's, like I said, Thunderbolt. Florence Pugh, Black Widow, Yelena is going to become a star coming out of Thunderbolts. I just have no doubt of that.
And I know you'll come on when we do Hawkeye season 2.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait.
Which hopefully we will get. It sounds like they're going to do it. So, okay. I want to just mention that. Yeah, Yelena Belova is like a guarantee. I don't see how you could not pick her almost. Her stardom in the MCU, as far as her MCU stardom, has just radiated with everything that she touches. I mean, she basically she carried the Hawkeye season 1 just by her presence in the show. Like,
you talking about Yelena?
Yeah, Yelena. She brought like a lot of gravitas to the series. Like when it was a little bit, for me, it was a little bit hit and miss. But her stuff on Hawkeye was outstanding. She just brings a certain quality on the screen. So her acting is at a certain level that's just like really high in my opinion. But Doctor Strange, I think, is a definite like really solid pick. Who I would expect will get picked quite a bit. Besides the guys who already picked it, I definitely think that you have to have he has his abilities in the realm of magic are going to be so crucial to take on Doom, right? Like in the comics, Doctor Strange has always been a major adversary of Doom, in terms of actually being able to fight him toe to toe. So I look forward to that, that recurring. Does anybody else have any other thoughts about Amato?
Yeah, I mean, I love the addition of Deadpool. I think one of the coolest things they could do with Deadpool would be like I would love to see him wear his trainee uniform from X-Men and be an Avengers trainee. I would love to see have that be like him like
have
on the side. Yeah. Like with him just like drawing over it or something like that. That would be hilarious. I would love to see that.
Oh, I love that. That's a good idea.
Okay, anybody else? All right, going once, going last. Okay, all right, round 3. I'll lead off, and I'm going to go ahead and pick Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff. Enough said. What I'm going to say, it's a pretty solid selection.
Wait, Jeff, Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
Wanda Maximoff. So Scarlet Witch, she'll probably, I would assume she'll be on in the original 6 Avengers. She's one of the OG Avengers, basically, at this point. Like I consider her, Falcon, Vision, all of them OG Avengers, basically, at this point, because of the amount of time they put in the MCU. So that's my pick right there. I'll go to you, Aston.
Okay, my third pick is going to be Tom Holland's Spidey. I had to go there. He was an Avenger, so he did technically fight Cap. Didn't do a good job of it, but he did, so I got to put the web slinger back in here. He deserves to be an Avenger.
Nice. Good pick.
Most definitely. Good pick. Kevin.
I need a wizard. I need the other wizard, one of my favorites, and I think he can hold it down. I'm going to go with Wong.
Nice. I like it.
Love me some Wong.
I mean, he is technically the Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah.
It could be Wong in Avengers. In Avengers 5, it could be Wong because Doctor Strange could be too busy with Clea, dealing with the excursions and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like it could be Wong on the Avengers. Kyle?
If we're talking multiverse, which could be a very big part of obviously for sure Avengers 6, you got to have somebody who really represents the multiverse and somebody who the MCU has been pushing very hard the last few years. And we want her on our screen. People love her. Captain Carter, Haley Atwell.
Oh, yeah.
Damn you, Kyle.
But you want the Captain Carter version of
correct. It's the Captain Carter version. They have made her too important through the What If series and even in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I don't think there's any way they don't somehow get on the Avengers.
I don't either. That she's always been a Marvel Studios sweetheart, Haley Atwell. They like working with her. They like
great choice, Kyle.
So yeah, it would not bother me at all if they went in that direction. Amato.
I'm actually going to go with a relatively someone who's just he's been cast, but he hasn't actually done it yet. I'm going to take Blade. I would love to see, I'll go with the Marshall Ali version. See if just to get the MCU moving forward, like this character who's going to be very new to the universe. And I think Marshall Ali is a phenomenal actor. And I love his the character of Blade is so unique and just different. For everything they built in the MCU, I think he'd be a great addition.
No doubt. Good pick. Aston.
I actually picked Blade, but it's Wesley. Me and him are linking up. Me and him are we're some sort of brothers from other mothers all across the continent, man. Like I'm telling you, man.
That's two different picks, Wrath. That's Blade. That's Mahershala Ali Blade, and that's Wesley Snipes Blade.
Wait. Did Aston just give 2 number 3 picks?
No, he just gave 1.
No, I gave Spidey. Did we go all the way through number 3?
Bad. No, my bad. Aston, I doubled up on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I doubled up on you, Aston.
Good thing I checked.
I'm sorry about that.
That's why you're here, Con.
Yep.
Who did I go to? Kyle, did I go to you?
Yeah. Have you, Kevin? I don't think you picked
Captain.
No, I picked Wong. We all finished our third pick.
Yeah, we all third round.
We all picked. All right, we're good.
Hey, wait, which Blade again?
I chose Marshall Ali.
Mahershala Ali Blade.
Mahershala Ali.
That's my fault, Wrath. I fucked up. My bad. Does everybody have
Ali, baby.
Does everybody have any thoughts on that round, Aston?
I think it was a dope round. I did not Amato surprises me, bro. He pulled out Carter, man. So I'm loving these things. Wong was definitely refreshing. I love the character. I just, in my head, it's he got shortlisted, man. I love him. I think there's so much he can do. So awesome pick.
Kyle made a good point on our network a while ago that Wong's kind of become the new, what's his name? Coulson. Yes, he's kind of become the new Coulson. He's the one that's kind of always stepping in other movies.
Every MCU that just carries over from project to project.
Yeah, I thought that was a great call, Kyle. So yeah,
most definitely, we appreciate it. Kevin, any thoughts on that round?
Oh man, yeah. Seriously, I love this. I love the Scarlet Witch pick you did. I really love Kyle's pick of Captain Carter with Haley, and you got to get the Spider-Man in there, man. It was good one, Aston. And I'm very curious about Blade. Mahershala is cool. I hope he does it well, Anthony.
Yeah, and I hope it actually happens. But
it shouldn't be that hard to make a Blade movie.
I will say, Ali was one of my favorite villains in a Marvel entity. Him as Cottonmouth and Luke Cage.
Oh yes,
was elite. One of my favorite Marvel scenes ever is the scene where they have that Biggie poster and it turns around and then all of a sudden it's framed where Cottonmouth is wearing the crown instead of Biggie.
Most definitely.
They should have never canceled that show, man. Ever, man. I really like that show.
Yeah, there's a chance it could still come back. He just wrapped up. Mike Coltier just wrapped up his show Evil. So
I expect to see. I expect to see Luke Cage come back to the MCU. I expect Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, to come back, and I expect Iron Fist to come back too, just with a different actor.
yeah.
It could even be a woman. You never know. With Marvel, you never know.
They've had a female Iron Fist in the comics, so
Yeah, that's why I said they could. It could be a woman. They could go with a different version of Iron Fist from the comics. So, any other thoughts?
Is anyone going to mention She-Hulk at some point?
Don't worry about She-Hulk, sir.
We still have 3 rounds left.
Yeah, we still got some rounds list.
The She-Hulk massage and spa, baby. We're gonna Kyle and Kevin are gonna get their gift certificates at the end of the show.
Okay, round four.
Thank you, Kyle. All right, I'll start with you, Kyle. Go ahead, since you already piped in.
Okay. For this round, I'm going to take something we talked about a little earlier because I think he's going to be very important to what's going to happen in these next 2 films, and that's Shang-Chi. The 10 rings are going to be a very crucial part, I think, of Doctor Doom's plans and what might happen. And so, yeah, I think him on the Avengers for these next 2 films is just it's a lock.
Well, I'll definitely have to recognize the 10 rings as a threat of some kind. You know what I'm saying? Like I would imagine. Amato.
Yes.
Your pick.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. So I'm gonna go. This is probably my most fan picky of all of them that I'm gonna do. I'm going to go out there. I'm gonna say like a Henry Cavill Wolverine.
Nice.
Do you want to reverse that? You have to
Cavalrine.
Yes, the Cavalrine. I think it would be like one of the few like versions of Wolverine they could do that would have enough gravitas to actually be able to be a serious part of like an Avengers movie this soon. So I think it would be really cool if they could get into.
Why not Hugh Jackman? I just had
okay. So I love the Deadpool Wolverine setup, but I kind of like, for me, like Logan like wrapped it up so well that I'm okay with letting him just kind of like his character arc being done as like Wolverine.
No,
like,
Amato, until he's 90.
I mean, that's probably what's going to happen, but I'm a bit of like, it's the same thing with me is I don't think that Robert Downey Jr. should ever come back as Iron Man. He's phenomenal in the role, but I don't think he should ever come back as him.
So you want to be him?
I mean, my name is Anthony. So
all right, Aston, your pick.
I already said it before, but Blade with Wesley. I think he could cameo and he can do something in the Avengers for sure. Like that's just me. He cameoed, so he is in the MCU. So we should have him come back.
One or the other. It could be one or the other. You can't have both of them on the screen. That just would not work. I can't imagine it would work. Kevin.
Kyle took my pick. I had it written down in ink too, a Shang-Chi, but not just because of the 10 rings threat. I really think in the downtime, someone really needs to lead the karaoke. So I'm going to go with Shang-Chi. Looks like we all did our. Oh wait, Jeff, you need your pick.
It's me, and I'll be wrapping up round 4. So we've got 2 more rounds, and then our reserve picks after that. So I'm going to go with Shang-Chi, since that seems to be the popular pick. It makes sense. It's a common sense pick. It's a no-brainer. I don't imagine them doing the Avengers and not having Shang-Chi be a part of it. So let me open the floor up. I'll start with you, Kev. What are your thoughts on the round, Kevin? Where we're at right now?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because there are 3 of us in this round pick Shang-Chi because I think we all realize how important that he is, especially with the 10 rings and, of course, the karaoke. Blade Wesley, yeah, love that one, Aston. That was good. And the Cavalrine was a reach, but a perfect reach. Love it, love it, love it.
Okay, Kyle?
Okay, for my 5th pick. This is the Shang-Chi round. I mean, we all know he's going to be a major factor in these films. We still might get another Shang-Chi movie either before Avengers 5 or in between Avengers 5 and 6. Because with the importance of the 10 rings, I know they want to do it. I mean, Simu Liu and Awkwafina keep doing other movies together, so why not get him back and let's get another Shang-Chi film out there? But yeah, he's too important to the MCU right now. They've set him up and dropped too many hints.
Amato, any other thoughts on this round?
Yeah, I mean, I just think Shang-Chi is just like, he could be a cornerstone of like the future of the MCU. So I think like him being a part of it, it just makes all the sense in the world. Like not just character wise or like storyline wise, but he could become one of those like foundational pieces.
Aston.
For me, the picks, there are a lot of surprises, but definitely the Cavalrine was like, it didn't even cross my mind. So big props to our boy Amato for picking him, man. I'm loving it. This round, definitely. I like that those overlap with Shang-Chi, man. For sure. I'm loving it. Punching out. That's all I can say on this round.
Aston, you can go ahead and start for round 5. What's your round 5 pick?
Okay, my 5th round pick is Deadpool. I know I got overlap with people here, but you got to put Wade in an actual legit Avengers. He's still probably interested in doing it. To me, it's a no-brainer. But as I said in the private chat, if he doesn't cross-dress in Rogue's uniform, I'm out. I'm out.
All right. Kevin.
I want to go with a Avenger that is more street level. I feel like we always need someone that knows the town, knows the city, but also someone that has more of a younger perspective. And I want a young Avenger. So I'm going with Kate Bishop, the Haley Steinfeld character. I'm a huge fan of that actress. I love everything that she does. And I really dug her in the TV series. And I'm really excited to see what she can do.
Yeah, she's very exciting. Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop, without question. Amato?
Let's see. So I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. Sam Wilson. I mean, I'll go back to their cap, Sam Wilson. I think like they need somebody who has that moral compass to kind of keep them like in line. That's just what Cap does. Is he's that moral compass to keep everyone, above ground, and he's really helps show the audience who are the good guys and who are the bad guys.
Kyle?
This is a tough one because I've debated this. I think I have to go Hulk. I think, but it's not just any Hulk. I think it's going to be Red Hulk. I think
Red Hulk.
If Harrison's game, I think that it's going to be get him more involved. I think the stuff coming out of Brave New World could have an effect on his involvement. So yeah, I think Red Hulk could be a part of the Avengers come.
That's an interesting pick. That's very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and go with Bruce Banner Hulk.
Nice.
He's an actual OG original 6 Avenger. So it's, for me, he's a no-brainer. I don't see how somebody else other than me doesn't pick him to be in their original in their next original 6. Just like picking Thor, I want to see representation from the OG Avengers on the next squad, right? So I want to go with Bruce Banner Hulk, assuming that he can reverse back and get rid of this like Professor Hulk bullshit and go back to being Hulk. You know what I'm saying? It's a big caveat there, but still, I want to see like him as real Hulk. But Bruce Banner Hulk, and I will go back to you, Kevin. Thoughts on that round?
Interesting round. Kyle surprised me with the Red Hulk pick. I like that. And then you got the Banner Hulk, which I liked. That was good. Sam Wilson, another pick there for Anthony. Yeah. I'm sorry. What was Aston Mike's 4th pick or 5th pick?
Sam Wilson.
Deadpool.
That's right. I forgot to write it down. Welcome to Deadpool Club. Love it.
wait, we're saying 5th pick?
That was the 5th round.
Yeah.
I thought Aston said Sam Wilson, Captain America.
He did.
Okay.
No. I never said Captain America.
No, he didn't.
That was me. I said Sam Wilson.
Anthony said Sam Wilson. Aston said Deadpool. Kyle said Red Hulk, and Jeff said Bruce Banner, and I said Kate Bishop.
Yeah, and I've got it all written down. Kyle, any thoughts?
Interesting. I think there's going to be a Hulk involved one way or the other. Of course, we could all be wrong, and it'll end up being She-Hulk. But and I think Deadpool, if Ryan Reynolds is willing, and I think he is, Deadpool is going to be part of this. And I think that they are going to turn that little joke of Deadpool being put in Thor's arms, much from the scene from Thor Dark World where it was Loki and they put Deadpool in place. They could end up making that an actual scene in one of these Avengers films. So,
Amato?
So I just wanted to comment, like, Kevin, you said something about like having a street level Avenger, and I thought that's a great idea, like story wise, because it also gives you perspective. So it makes it seem grander when you have people like in awe of what's happening that are a part of it. So that would be a really cool thing. You're like seeing like Kate Bishop is really good at that like reaction style too, in her moments. So it'd be really cool to see her, like flipping out because she's seeing, the Hulk, smashing something up, and she's fawning over Thor or something like that. It would be super cool to just see her essentially fangirling out about these people.
And I'm curious the dichotomy between Kate Bishop and Deadpool.
That would be very interesting to just see her like just not quite getting what he's doing.
Right.
Aston.
Okay. This is final picks, right?
No, this is just your thoughts. Your thoughts on round 5.
For me, the Kate Bishop one really was the one out of everything so far that kind of threw me off. I didn't like the show so much, but I could definitely see her adding a lot of value and getting the younger audience in. For sure. I think it makes sense now when I'm thinking about it, but that one was a curveball for me. But all around, it's like I feel everyone was playing this one safe as we were getting to number 1. Maybe that's just me, but I feel everybody was playing itself. We got 2 Hulks. So, it's good. It's good, man. It wasn't that one curveball. I'm still reeling from it. So awesome. I'm loving it so far. Love it.
Okay. Round 6, I'm going to start off, and I'm going to go with Thor, another OG Avenger. It's a really easy pick for me. We're going to need him on the team. He's very powerful. And hopefully when we get Thor 5, we're going to get like a really serious, kind of dark Thor, hopefully, right? That's going to be like super powerful, you would imagine. So, Amato.
Yeah, I actually tell you the truth, I'm going to go with Thor as well. Like, we have to see, I feel like he's the most, although technically like Hulk would be longer than him in the MCU. I feel like the Thor is like the reigning statesman. Like, he's the longest running currently led character that's left from like the original Avengers, if I remember correctly. Because Ruffalo of course came after him. And also, I really want to see like the separation between him and the Jane Foster Thor, because I haven't been a huge fan of Jane Foster since like basically after the first Thor movie. I was like, Jane Foster can go kick rocks, like like as a character. I just didn't find her that interesting after that. I love Natalie Portman, but she was just to me.
All right, Kyle.
Okay, so with this being the last pick, I've been in a debate about this, but I think I know which direction I'm going to go, and I'm going to say this now because I love the Kate Bishop pick and a couple other people, but I think one of the big moments in these next 2, probably in Avengers 6, will be the debut of the Young Avengers. So to me, that takes Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, a lot of those characters off the board because they're going to be part of that. So with that, I am making my 6th pick. I think the guy that is right now saving the MCU and their most bankable commodity, you're putting Deadpool on the team. I mean, there's no way around it. If you do not have Deadpool on this team for multiple reasons at this point, they're missing the boat big time. And as much as I would think Hugh Jackman would be great too, I think they're saving that for something else possibly, and we'll see where that goes. So Deadpool is my pick.
Aston.
And my last pick, and you know what? I had to get things a little spicy, you know, and it's a character, an actor who's very near and dear to my heart. War Machine, but Terrence Howard. Okay? He can teach us math in one of his scenes. Jeff, did you or did you not tell me MCU only? So technically, I'm allowed to bring him back. He could teach us some math, and probably he can maybe even get Joe Rogan and Neil deGrasse to make cameos too. So
I'm
that's
sure
a
he would
win
love the
all
paycheck.
around. He needs that bread. He needs that bread because he miscalculated all that shit. After it was hard for a pimp, he was out of there.
I love that pick.
What's up, brother? How you doing, Raven? I'll see you next Friday for Rings of Power episode 4. All right, so we're moving on to. Oh well, no. Let me get thoughts in on round 6. Amato, any thoughts?
I mean, I love the way we finished up. You know, I mean, of course, you have to have. I think the Deadpool pick. I think it makes all the sense in the world, and it's also it's Marvel really digging into an entity that is on the rise, and I think it would just take like Deadpool to like the next level to be really a part of the Avengers. I think he's like one step from like epic stardom. And he's like right below that in my mind, and like being a part of the Avengers would just like that would push him over the top, in my opinion.
Kyle,
I think it's very interesting the different directions everybody's gone. With
I haven't picked my 6 pick.
Kevin needs to pick. His
Oh, Kevin, I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Give me your pick.
Yeah, I haven't picked it yet.
Okay.
I know we get 2 alternates, but you know what? Just because I would love to see the fourth wall breaking, and I know this is not going to be a popular pick, but I'm going to go with She-Hulk. Because I like to have Kate and She-Hulk working together too. And plus, I think someone who knows law might be very helpful.
I guess somebody had to pick She-Hulk, right?
Yeah.
I did. That was me.
It would be pretty epic to see She-Hulk and Deadpool basically have like a fourth wall duel.
Exactly.
Would be potentially hilarious.
Kyle, let me go back to you for your thoughts on the round, sir. I'm sorry. Thanks for getting me over to Kevin.
That's fine. I think it's like I said, it's interesting to see whatever direction everybody goes, and you know, Kevin selected She-Hulk. I mean, I think they're still going to try to involve her in the MCU, but probably in a little bit more traditional sense than what they did with the TV show. But they're still to have that fourth wall breaking moment with Deadpool and She-Hulk could be one of the most epic moments in the MCU. I would love to see them end up in a room talking to Feige again, but Kevin again. But just it's so interesting because it tells you too the diverseness that we all have in our experience with the MCU. That our picks, some are very much we're on the same page on, but some were going off in different directions. And I think that's one of the great things they've done with the MCU is to be able to go off in those different directions. So that tells you there really is something for everybody.
Okay. Aston, any thoughts?
Definitely did not see She-Hulk coming out there, you know, being put on the list, you know, and apparently she's an alternate. I don't believe that for 1 second. My alternate was Daredevil, Affleck, but yes. So, yeah, I like it. I like it, though.
She's my 6th pick. Awesome.
Yeah. What? I mean, if you're talking about needing a lawyer, I mean, Matthew Murdock.
True.
Yep.
Blind justice, baby. Blind justice. I loved it. I love it. So I think all the picks are awesome. And I think anyone, if they took out of all of our picks, all 6 of them, they could easily make a movie, and a good movie with each of our selections. So like nobody came weak with this. And if we were in the NBA, NFL, or at Marvel, we'll be billionaires right now. Dr. Evils.
Amato.
I love that.
Yes. Do you want me?
Any thoughts on that round?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think She-Hulk could be. You could start like almost like rehabilitating the way that people feel about her. Give her a small role where maybe she's not as like out there. Have her do some like cool fourth wall breaks, but you know, and having it like head to head with Deadpool, but maybe not have her be like the focus of something. It could really help drive that character towards a positive feel in the MCU. So I think that'd be a really cool idea.
I could see it now with the fourth wall breaking. Like Deadpool starts to break the fourth wall, and She-Hulk like looks over him like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And just realizing that they both break the fourth wall, I think could be hilarious.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if like there were like a circle, and like let's say Deadpool like broke off to the fourth wall, and then she's just like goes over his shoulder and is like, "Well, yeah, what are you doing over here?" And he's like, "Wait, you can tell that I'm breaking the fourth wall right now?" Like something like interesting like that would be, pretty cool.
Kevin, any thoughts?
Yeah, I know I threw everyone for a loop, and that's probably going to be the last person, but I was a fan of the show, and I want to see a scene between her and Deadpool, and I love that Kyle, you chose Deadpool as well, but the Terrence Howard War Machine, that one really got me. I love that one. And 2 Thor picks, why not? Let's get him in.
That's right. We appreciate the humor here at the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, without question. All right, reserve picks. Kyle, start us off.
I'm going deep into my first reserve pick because I think there's something that Kevin Feige needs to make right, and I think it's something that a lot of fans are ready for. One of my alternates is Black Panther, but it's not Shuri. It's somehow they will age up young T'Challa from the end of Black Panther 2 with these events in Secret Wars, and we will have a T'Challa return as Black Panther. Obviously, it can't be Chadwick, unfortunately. Maybe James David Washington or along those lines. But I do think we will get a Black Panther as an alternate. And
so like a male acted Black Panther version.
Yeah.
Almost like Trunks from like Dragon Ball Z, like he comes back from the future or something like that.
Yeah, or like I said, young T'Challa that we see at the end of Wakanda Forever gets aged up somehow, which is always a thing that could happen.
Yeah,
but I do think we get a Black Panther.
Okay, Kevin.
We're counting the TV shows coming up too, so
correct.
I'm gonna go with Frank Castle, John Barenthal.
Oh, I like that.
I would love to see Frank Castle team up with Deadpool in a little side mission and just wreak havoc. And there's still a place in my heart for Dolph Lundgren, but he's not part of the MCU. But I love that 89 Punisher, but I'm going to go John Barenthal's Frank Castle as my response.
Fuck yeah, that 89 Punisher is dope. That shit is sick. Dolph Lundgren was sick in that shit. Amato?
I may be breaking the rules with this one, but just like Kyle was saying, like another injustice potentially in the not in the MCU, but in comic book movies. Like there was such a disservice done to the character of Rogue in my mind in the X-Men movies, that like almost to a point to where I didn't even recognize her in the movies. And like the. I guess XO97 would be technically like almost a connection.
You can't pick Rogue, bro. You can't pick Rogue.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with. I'll shift over to Tom Holland Spider-Man. Then I'll go there. Just because once again he's one of the biggest comic book or one of the comic book characters in Marvel right now, and you got to give him a part of the team. And he's actually, pretty long running right now. And we're going to see how maybe he transitions into more of a leadership role. Like you're seeing him almost, age up and grow up a little bit.
I think so. And I'm going to make that pick too. I'm going to go with Tom Holland Spider-Man myself. I would imagine he will be one of the sort of co-host or like assistant manager kind of like, members of the Avengers, along with probably like Captain Marvel, and maybe some other characters. Aston.
For me, I had to go with Daredevil. Cox, though, I'm not going with Affleck. Come on. Anyone who said they liked that movie has been lying. I'll buy the polygraph, okay? We supported it. We loved it because we're like, yo, it's Affleck. But nah, Charlie Cox, it's so grounded. I feel they really did all of those guys dirty in Defenders because Defenders was just, milquetoast for me. I'm glad that they're bringing him back. I would love to see him in an actual Avengers movie because he's so versatile. He can go with the shooters. He could go with the Brainiacs. He can go either way. So yeah, I got Daredevil, the Charlie Cox version.
Kyle, thoughts on that reserve round as we're kind of wrapping this thing up?
It's interesting. We can have a little bit more fun with the reserve round, take a few more chances there. Obviously we know Barenthal's coming back as the Punisher. The Punisher with the Avengers has always been an interesting mix when they've ended up having to tie up together. The Tom Holland Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man is going to be a big part of those Avengers films, but I don't necessarily think he's going to be necessarily an Avenger in that, because we still need to see the fallout of everybody forgetting who Peter Parker is. So I think that's going to be something where Spider-Man 4 will dictate that a little bit more, and you're still going to have that Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr. moment at some point in those two films. But I just don't think he's going to be an actual part of the Avengers team. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Kevin, your thoughts?
Yeah. So I got my Frank Castle. Jeff, you got Tom Holland Spider-Man. So did you, Anthony? Good call. And I love the Black Panther pick there, Kyle. And I was going back between Daredevil and She-Hulk, and I don't know. I wanted to stick with She-Hulk, but I'm glad Charlie Cox's Daredevil came up, and I am a fan of that Ben Affleck Daredevil.
I don't see how anybody could not like Charlie Cox Daredevil. I don't know about Ben Affleck Daredevil, but Charlie Cox Daredevil is pretty damn dope.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cannot wait for Born Again.
Yeah, like I'm literally like, because I thought it was over for him. I thought it was just a cameo in She-Hulk, so like that gutted me for a week or so. Like, so I hope they put him in Avengers, man.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's all speculation at this point. We'll have to see what actually flushes out. But I mean, he could represent a street character, a street laced character. In the next Avengers. We'll have to see what happens. But this is our last pick, so guys. So if you have anything special, bring it up now. Starting off with you, Amato, your last reserve pick, and then when we finish up, we'll talk about what we end up with in conclusion for our whole team.
All right, as my last reserve pick, I'm actually going to go with Miss Marvel. I feel like Kamala Khan it was a really good character. I think Iman Vellani put a lot of life into it. I think she was by far the best part of the Marvels. She brought this like energy and this like reverence to what was going on, and this fun and this playfulness to that role. And I felt like it was a really good like dive into like parts of life that we don't get to see a whole lot of in America, and you got to see all this like just like the childlike joy. She was essentially to me like a female Spider-Man, like that age grouping and like the enthusiasm that she brought to it.
Yeah, I love Miss Marvel. My favorite Disney Plus series of that year, without question. That was my top Disney Plus series for Marvel, was Miss Marvel. A lot of people hated it. Nobody watched it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was outstanding. Kevin.
Oh, you mean my last pick or
your last pick? Your last pick.
Yeah. So I wanted someone to represent another world, another galaxy, had some time in there. Also, too, I think that this person will also bring a great soundtrack to my Avengers team here. So I'm going to go with Star-Lord himself.
Ooh, yeah, I like it.
Good pick.
Yep.
Good pick, Kev. I'm glad somebody brought up Star-Lord. Okay. Aston.
For me, I'm going to play it safe because I mentioned it earlier. It's got to be Luke Cage. I was pissed when they canceled the show, and he's pretty powerful. He is a powerful enough guy that he could roll with anyone in the Avengers.
He's so cool.
Yeah, and for me, it's like the casting was amazing. Like the actor, he sells it. Like the weak part was the budget, and you can't blame him for the budget. Like he's way better than Iron Fist, bro. It was like budget Paul Walker from Temu. That's who he was. That's all I'm gonna say. So definitely, I want to see Luke Cage.
Kyle.
Okay, I'm gonna cheat here a little bit, only because I don't know if the actor is healthy enough to come back and play the role. So I kind of have a tie here. I would like to see Jeremy Renner back as Hawkeye. I just don't know if he's healthy enough. But the other character, if you can't use Hawkeye because of Jeremy Renner's health, I want to see Monica Rambeau be brought into
Okay.
this.
So is that your pick,
Marvel with her in an alternate universe? We got to bring her back. I think she has been one of the most intriguing characters to come out of Phase 4, and I would like to see her get a fair share outside of the Marvels.
Monica Rambeau, I like that.
I'll second Monica Rambeau.
Yes, and yes.
Jeff, that's your pick too?
That's my pick. I'll second Monica Rambeau.
Nice.
All day. As my last reserve. And let's see I want to know what our tallies are. What do we got here at the con? Who's our original 6 Avengers?
The original 6 Avengers. Okay, Kyle, you have Sam Wilson, Captain America. Then you have Chris Hemsworth, Thor. Then you have Captain Carter by Haley Atwell. Then you have Shang-Chi. Then you have Red Hulk. Then you have Deadpool. Does that sound accurate to you?
Yep, that is correct.
Aston, you have Ed Norton Hulk, Doctor Strange, Tom Holland Spider-Man, Blade by Wesley.
Yes.
And then you have Deadpool, and you have War Machine, Terrence Howard.
Yeah, Terrence
Yeah, the Terrence Howard version.
Perfect. Kevin. I got Steve Rogers, Captain America, Deadpool, Wong, Shang-Chi, Kate Bishop, Haley Seinfeld, and She-Hulk.
Correct.
Amato Anthony, or Anthony Amato. I got Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Blade, Mahershala Ali, Wolverine, Henry Cavill, Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Thor.
Sounds right.
Cool. Jeff, ask True Knowledge. You got Sam Wilson, Captain America. You got Black Widow, Yelena Belova, Scarlet Witch, Shang-Chi, Bruce Banner, Hulk, and Thor.
Correct.
Wait, so we're saying nobody's bringing back anybody from the Eternals.
No.
Completely forgot.
Come on. What do you got, Wrath?
For what?
What's our team? Tallied up. What do we got? Are we looking at Sam Wilson, Captain America? With
Who has the most selections?
Yeah, who has the most selections?
Yeah.
Is it Sam Wilson, Captain America, Shang-Chi, Thor,
Deadpool,
Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and then a tie?
It's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be crazy because...
I got to calculate this.
Hey, we could all talk some BS till he does the math, guys. Come on.
Well, no, we got 2 Monica Rambeaus.
And we got 3. We got 3 Sam Wilsons.
Yep. So we got Sam Wilson, Captain America, Shang-Chi, Thor, Deadpool.
Then we have a couple of Hulks.
Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
Shang-Chi's on everyone's team, right?
Yeah.
Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and then Monica Rambeau. Our team, from what I can tell, our team is Sam Wilson, Captain America, Shang-Chi, Monica Rambeau, Thor, Deadpool, and Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
Sounds accurate.
Yep, that's our team. That's our squad. So that's not a bad squad.
You're including the reserve picks?
Yep, I'm including the reserve picks.
Okay.
As a tiebreaker.
Need the tiebreaker. I don't want to have the 6-member be all one pick characters. So, all right. Our final round, our final thoughts on our cumulative team that we put together here and our picks overall. I'll start with you, Amato. Open the floor. What are your thoughts on all the picks we had? The rounds we went to. Kind of your wrap up thoughts.
I mean, I feel like it was really cool just seeing like the thought process that people went through, whether they were going through like, just nostalgia picks through like these little odd multiverse picks. It was in like kind of thinking about the idea of, whoa, what scale are we talking about? Talking about like big scale? Are we talking about low level people? You know, just seeing like where everybody was coming from with their mindset. Because, you know, you get this question and when you're thinking of it in your mind, you're kind of thinking like, oh, I know where I'm going to think about it. Everybody's going to think about it the same way. But it never plays out that way because everyone has their own thoughts, their own like mindset that they go into it with. So it's always cool to see how it ends up, you know, kind of everyone's interpretation of the same question.
Okay. Kevin.
You know, I'm looking going, I would see all these movies, everyone's picks. You know, there's a lot of fun here. And I think too that there's definitely, as you said, Anthony, I think there's definitely some nostalgia in this, and that's what makes this part fun. And I'm looking at everyone's reserve picks here, and that would be fun too, because I have Castle, Star-Lord, Jeff, you have Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Monica Rambeau, Kyle, you have Black Panther and Monica, Alston, you have Daredevil and Luke Cage, jeez, and then Tom Holland and Miss Marvel. By the way, Anthony, great call on Kamala Khan. She would be fun on any team. I loved Kamala's performance as Miss Marvel, and that would be good. And I love the fact too that we found out that she goes and recruits Kate Bishop. I love that.
Kyle.
Well, first of all, too, if I love the Kamala Khan. If like I said, I knew she wasn't going to be part of the Young Avengers, I would love to see her on the team, especially if Deadpool's on it, because the Kamala Khan Deadpool conversations could be on an epic scale. That could be hilarity and but I think it's so interesting when we make these picks here, because we are basing nostalgia, maybe what we're thinking might be happening in the next movies. And that's kind of one of the most interesting aspects of this is I think we're at the point where we kind of know what the MCU is going to do, but we don't know what the MCU is going to do. Obviously, they could have done a 180. We don't know we know Secret Wars is coming, but how they're going to execute it, how is Robert Downey Jr. going to be involved in this? I think Fantastic Four is a huge wild card in the influence of what's going to happen in the MCU going forward. And I think we have some really great films about to hit with Captain America and the Thunderbolts for sure. And I'm intrigued by Agatha. And I mean, the fact we're even getting the Ironheart show is still a shock to me. But it's a very interesting time for the MCU, and I think there's really truly that sense of the unknown that we really haven't had since Phase 1 almost, where we didn't know if we were even going to make it to Avengers. And so I think this is, in a way, we know we're going to get to Avengers, but how we're going to get there and the path we're going to take and who's going to be there is so much more interesting right now than I think we've had that intrigue in the MCU since the beginning of Phase 4. And I think it's a good thing. And I really think we're going to kind of enter. I don't know if the MCU will ever get back to that Infinity Saga top level, but I think we're definitely at a point where we could get back to the MCU being the powerhouse that it is.
I think that's a good question to ask around the panel. Aston, you can start. Is the MCU ever going to come back to Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet standards, Endgame standards?
Personally, no. I don't think we have another big movie better than what DP and Wolverine just did. I personally don't see that happening. I feel more than half the shows failed to get any sort of mainstream audience, especially the Marvels, which flopped heavy. I think Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Dr. Doom to me was literally like the biggest Hail Mary pass ever. Like, oh, we're going to bring him back. And the Russo bros, which I read a couple years ago, they were unhappy with their experience with Marvel. So they must have really got a bag to come back and to try save this.
Big bag.
Yeah, if they gave him $100 million just to do 2 movies and a couple of cameos, because that's all he's going to really do. In my mind, it's like you've already kind of cheapened the brand by doing too much stuff. That's what I feel. And with She-Hulk being cut out of Deadpool, she's not even going to be on the Blu-rays or anything. I think it's not that vibe we had when we saw that first Avengers movie. I don't think they ever get back to that. But to touch on the picks, I definitely got to say, like, it's literally like I'm listening to a boardroom of guys who take this seriously, and I loved it. I loved it because the way, like, especially Amato, like, he breaks that down like he's been working with Roper and Ebert and Siskel and lounging with them like a fly on the wall. So he knows exactly like how, you know, to do the business side. Then I'm looking at my Oakland Raiders fan up there with Kev, you know, like he has some very interesting stuff, which I didn't see coming, like especially the She-Hulk thing. I feel any one of these teams can really stand on their own. And I would watch any of those movies. Even though I don't like She-Hulk, I can see how it could work in that movie. So yeah, I don't see the MCU going back to what it was, but I loved all of the picks, and they really like, I'm going to watch some of that stuff now. I'm going to give Hawkeye Jr. another chance. I'll give her another chance. Kate Bishop. I'll give her a chance because of you guys.
All right, I'm going to play a video before we wrap up the show and do our close and get out of here.
I love being with people. It's the most incredible thing in the world.
What are you doing? Oh, this is nice.
That world may change and evolve, but the one thing that will never change, we're all part of one big family. That man next to you, he's your brother. That woman over there, she's your sister.
Higher, further, faster, baby.
That's right.
We're all part of one universe.
Wakanda forever!
That moves ever upward and onward to greater glory.
On your left. Avengers!
I've lived a lot of lives. But I'm done running from my past. We have unfinished business.
Who's we?
When you love something, you fight for it. We're the ones who changed everything.
All right, I fucking love that. Rather, I never saw that before.
You made me cry, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin. Kevin, is the MCU over? Are the glory days at their end?
Yeah, you know, Austin made a point. I don't think anything's going to be as big as Deadpool, Wolverine, or you know, the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. What made those special is the theater going experience as well, and getting people into the theaters and remembering that. And it's for me, I have this pride of I've been to every single MCU film starting from Iron Man. I've seen it opening weekend, all these films opening weekend, and I'm going to continue to do it. And it just brings back that nostalgia. And I'm a big movie theater guy, and these movies, I don't know if we'll get that moment again, but you know, I didn't know, you know, we wanted Deadpool and Wolverine, and we were expecting it to be big, but boy, it's big. And I feel like I don't know if we can reach that again, but I think it'll still bring in new people. I still think we'll have a good time with like Fantastic Four and all these other films that are coming out. The trick is getting people back into the theaters again and doing that. So
good point. Amato.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any way for them to reach that height, but I think that's not a knock on where they're going. Like everyone else was saying, I personally believe Endgame was like the biggest moment in movie history since Empire Strikes Back. Like I think it is, for talking about a theater experience. I think that's what that was for us, for that generation as well. Like, for my generation, that was such a huge moment. And I mean, I think you're asking for an essentially, perfect experience, and we may never get that again, but that's okay. Like in a way, it's good that we had that experience, and it's good that it may not happen again in our lifetime, because it's, it makes it special, makes it unique. But that doesn't mean that it can't be like elite and work its way back up either.
I think there's two cards within the MCU that could pull near those emotional moments that they haven't played yet, and we know one of them will be played after the 6th Avengers film, when we get true X-Men in the MCU. When we have that debut, that's one. Number 2, live action Miles Morales making his debut in the MCU.
Yeah.
I think those are the two big cards that are really hanging out there that they have not played up on. I think once they play on those, then it's kind of wait and see. But I just, what they did for a 10-year period was absolutely perfect, and it can't be replicated by another franchise, by anybody else. That magic can't be replicated. And I think we need to realize, as fans, that was a once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-generation type of thing. And we will probably never see it again within our lifetimes. But that doesn't mean they still can't do something that's special in its own way. It's just, you can't expect it to be this, because this is just so much higher than what even something that is great is here. That it was just perfect. And you can't achieve that every time.
How very hard to replicate. Wrath, you want to jump in on this?
I mean, even as someone who's not really into the MCU, like, I have to agree with all you guys. Like, the theater experience was just unique. The whole vibe, everyone collectively, whether we're Marvel fans or we're just, casually want to watch a great movie, like, we'd all want to go to the movie theaters together. And now it's like, we just don't have that effect, that feeling that we used to have. I mean, like Kyle said, it could come back. It could not, but I think it'll take a while before we could go back to those glory days and create our own version of that in the future. Or Disney will create a new version of that.
I think Kevin makes a good point. The decision will be made in the theater. That's where Marvel Studios has to perform. That's how they build themselves up, right? Is through the theater. That's how they're going to have to reinvigorate the MCU almost. Is through the theater. That's where it has to start.
Kyle and I were talking about the thing that's really, I think that people were still apprehensive to come back to theaters over the last few years because of COVID. And the cost of going to the movie theaters is so expensive nowadays. But the one thing that I noticed that is building some excitement is these damn popcorn buckets, these collectible popcorn buckets. People are going like, all right, let's go to the theater. And then they, I think that's going to be one of the tricks too, is the marketing of how to get people back in the theater and spend money.
Well, I want to just give props to everybody that's been a panelist on the show tonight, just because it's nice to be able to reach out to your guests and say to the open floor, hey, does anybody have any thoughts? And know that you're going to have people that are going to be respectful and talk in order and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I hope everybody had fun. Thanks for helping me bank some content on the MCU's Bleeding Edge. That's pretty much the end of our I guess as Aston put it, our draft of the original 6 Avengers, our new original 6 Avengers. I'm going to go ahead and plug you guys out of here so we can, finish the show. And I'm going to start off by going to you, Amato, and pull up Royal Geek Podcast.
Yeah, I mean, Royal Geek Podcast, we're on pretty much every single, major social media, and we're on YouTube. We're on every, major podcast site as well. We do all kinds of fun drafts like this as well, and we do all kinds of content from Star Wars to MCU to the DCU to Lord of the Rings. So, come give us a look, and we really love doing what we're doing, and just a couple of guys who just really enjoy being around each other and talking about cool stuff.
You guys already did an Avengers style draft. I didn't realize that, but I see it now on your podcast.
Yes, we did.
All right, awesome. Okay, FPN Podcast Network.
Yes, the Fandom Podcast Network. We have coming up into year, what is it, 9 here shortly, Kevin?
Yeah, man. It's yeah.
And we are all over the place. We cover all kinds of different fandoms, from Star Wars to Marvel to what's going on in Star Trek to just modern pop culture. But we also do a lot of retro things. We have our Time Warp podcast. We have Couch Potato Theater. We have our Hair Metal podcast, which has been a lot of fun. We have
Highlander podcast too.
Yeah, our Highlander Blood of Kings podcast.
And you guys live stream.
And then we have our Culture Clash, which is our fandom news and review show, which we always live stream, and then we will do these selective live streams for other things. We just did a live stream for our reactions for Wolverine and Deadpool. We brought back True Believers for that, and like I said, True Believers is back as we get ready for Agatha in October, and we'll be doing some other Marvel things as well because it's an exciting time. But we just some fun things we can tell you we got coming up. We're going to be covering a lot of James Cameron things now that all the James Cameron films are starting to come out in 4K. We're going to be talking Aliens, True Lies, The Abyss, Terminator, and just a lot of things going on right now. And one of our things too that's been very popular is our Saved from Oblivion section on our Culture Clash, where we find a movie that maybe it ties into fandom, but maybe it's been forgot about. We've recently done The Spirit from the Frank Miller film, and we're going to be talking about Wanted with Angelina Jolie. Is that one that we should just let go, Wave Oblivion, or should we save it and put it back on the shelves?
Yeah, that's a fun one. And we did, and also this year is the year of time travel as well. We've been doing time travel films, and that's been a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you very much. And of course, on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge next Saturday, we'll be doing our top 10 MCU films of all time. Our ranking of our top 10 MCU films of all time out of what we currently have in the MCU. Rathacon will be back with me for that. Hopefully some of these guys that are on here right now will be back for that too. But that's our next Saturday show. That'll be next weekend. In the meantime, happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. God bless everybody out there for checking out the show, catching us live. We appreciate it. Everybody who catches us just on YouTube or just on whatever platform you find us on, we appreciate you, of course, as well. Follow, drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. In the meantime, we love all of you. Thanks, everybody, for coming on. We'll see you next time. Peace.